It is Monday, April 10th, 2023, 3:09 p.m. My name is Kessie Ian Anderson, and welcome back for another edition of Heresiarch. So Trump put on Truth Social World War III yesterday. All the soothsayers and patriots are stating it was on the 77th year, 7th month, and 7th day of the end of World War II that Trump stated that. Then last night I was browsing the chans and a supposed insider was LARPing, stating that we have approximately 2 more weeks and it's going to get kinetic between China and Taiwan. Now, I look at Taiwan in a similar light as Ukraine. I believe the deep state and cabal is invested in those. I mean, yeah, they say it's for transistors, they say it's for our computing processing, for our manufacturing, chips, all that, electrical components. But thanks to Bush Sr., Obama, Clinton, for their global initiatives, moving all of our manufacturing overseas, that should just kind of be a clarion call or a wake-up for us to bring our manufacturing back. Oh no, a living wage. Oh no, a job that can have meaning to help people. Oh no, that'd be terrible if we actually had all of our manufacturing back here instead of going overseas. But in a global sense, when these globalists in the deep state and the cabal look at the world, they look at it as just one entity. And so for them to move their manufacturing from one geolocation to another, they don't care who it benefits or who it hurts to them, as long as they get benefited. They don't care if it destroys jobs, destroys families, destroys livelihoods here, when they can benefit over there. That's the lens that the cabal looks at it. And as long as they get rich with the trade deals in the process. So basically the BRICS nations, China, Russia, Brazil, Argentina, India, and more, are turning us into a multipolar world. That's a huge affront to the Noahide idea of oneness. To have a multipolar front, that's got to be driving our greatest ally insane, unless my hunch is true and they're orchestrating all sides. They are the puppet master of China, the golem of China, the golem of Russia, and the golem puppet of the United States. There can be a big argument for that, but if I pretend that everything I'm seeing is organic, it's not. But China doing what it's doing, Russia doing what it's doing, they devaluing, inciting to create and trade in their own currencies instead of accepting fiat currency. There was a meme that hit the chans, and it was pretty interesting. I thought it was pretty cutting and telling. So the way America has been doing business is they have the Federal Reserve notes. An infinite supply of dollars can be printed by the Fed. They will then turn around and use those pretend magic dollars to do trade agreements to rob a nation of its wealth and resources. So take Africa, for example. What have they gotten in return from America, other than vaccines, new manufactured viruses, Ebola, AIDS, and more, and warlords being funded by the CIA? Other than that, they haven't gotten anything. Africa is probably looking at America and being like, you guys are a pretty terrible trade partner. Well, China swoops in, and what is China doing in response for trade? Roads, infrastructure, electricity, water, and more. So whatever China's doing, even though I disagree with the idea of a social credit score, I disagree that I have to bring a cell phone everywhere to try to get approval to ride a train or to buy or purchase. That scares me to death. If that happens here, it's Red Dawn Wolverine time. But China is at least being a fair trade partner in that Africa is getting something in return instead of fake fiat petrodollars. And it's not even a petrodollar. That was just to make us feel like the dollar had value by us sending our emissaries of Israel military to go and wipe out Middle Eastern countries for their oil. That's the game that we've been playing. Now it just comes down to the might of the military. So there is going to be a war strictly based off of currency before we go to CBDC, the central bank digital coin or digital currency, however you want to call it. There's going to be a massive war because us losing dollar pretend. I mean, the only way our dollar had value is because of the military. So we have a military base everywhere. We are legitimately the imperialist. I never ever thought I would use those lefty terms. But when the scales fell off my eyes with Bush Jr., Bush W after 9/11, and it wasn't until 2015, and I was given information and I found out about World Trade Center 7. I'd never heard about any of that. I just 1 and 2, and I parroted the same narrative. I was MK Ultra media parrot, just believing what I was told. But when I finally did my own deep dive into information, that's when I woke up quite quickly. Republicans, Democrats literally don't care. Lindsey Graham's, Mitch McConnell's on one side, Dan Crenshaw's, McCain 2.0 on one side, and then you got the Democrats. So, quick history lesson. I always thought that America was the good guy. Our propaganda machine worked wonders. Freedom, military, patriotism, nationalism, and all we did was export a disgusting form of capitalism/communism under the Judaic banner. That's all we've done. AIPAC, American Israeli Political Action Committee, runs our politicians. 1991, communism fell over in Russia for theatrics, the USSR, SSSR, and it was fine because they had already, since McCarthy in the 50s and 60s, they had already exported all of their talent and infiltrated everywhere in the United States. So the fall of communism, that was just for show, and they didn't care. Perestroika, Gorbachev, it was all for show because all of the communists had already infiltrated here unfettered. And that's what we are going through right now. So if our white hats, if Q was real, they would have removed the communist threat here, but they haven't, and they won't. And my worry is Trump still stands by the vaccines. Trump still stands by Operation Warp Speed. Trump still stands by these when they have ravaged and are destroying us. And for some reason, our deep state is so hell-bent on getting mRNA into everything. Like, I'm hearing cattle are being injected with it, pigs are being injected with it, our big agriculture has been taken over. So for some reason, this is their Hail Mary. I don't understand it. I don't know exactly what game the mRNA is to play. I have my theories and opinions, and they're totally ludicrous and outlandish and insane, but all the dots connect for me to accept that it's not insane. So when we finally find out what that mRNA was for, I do not think it's going to be good. And it's going to take us down rabbit holes that are just absolutely insane. And I still stand by it's going to be a combination of Bird Box mixed with Arc of a Scythe book trilogy. So the movie Bird Box with Sandra Bullock and Arc of a Scythe by Neil Shusterman. Get a chance, watch that, and then read that, and then come to the middle somewhere, and you'll probably find your truth about what's going to happen when they modulate the electromagnetic frequencies that we're surrounded by. I don't know how much control these are going to give to the cabal when our fellow people are driving and we have car accidents and more. So I see Taiwan, I see it going kinetic. This insider on the Chans, he even said there is potential for nuclear exchange, limited, but it may escalate. And this insider claimed for everybody to get PPE, which is personal protection equipment. So masks, hazmat, iodine, different things like that. And me personally, it can't hurt to be prepared. My whole mantra is to be independent as much as possible. Be as independent as much as you can, in as many ways as you can. Do backyard chickens. Start growing stuff if you can. It's kind of warmed up here in my part of Idaho until they chemtrail us to death again, but definitely the weather is turning nicer for a moment. Hopefully it lasts, but we'll see what happens. Maybe the theory is for the military to go kinetic over in Taiwan to protect its Ukraine of Asia for money laundering purposes and to try to salvage whatever is going to be of the dollar as we go into our biggest economic collapse ever. So you just might want to add a couple extra gallons of water just to be safe, get some ramen, get some beans, flour, anything that you can use and survive on. Might not be nice, but for $80 you can get you at least a month's worth of supplies. It's not eating well, but it's at least subsisting. But I do know something is coming. It's bound. There's not even a question in my mind. It's just a matter of when, not if. I think it will be before July. Insider says it's going to be within the next 10 days and to pay attention to the news cycle, because the news cycle is going to be ramping up on Taiwan and World War III. And this, in my opinion, that's how desperate they are to keep the public from Epstein still, keep the public from Biden laptop, Wiener laptop, all the files that we are waiting on for declassification that still have never come. I think there is a major human trafficking lines that they do not want exposed, whether it was Wayfair or Memphis Maersk, the Maersk shipping containers, Ghislaine Maxwell and Tara Marr, and more. So again, just get supplies, stock up what you can, as much as you can, get some water. Just that way I have a cleaner conscience telling you guys, hopefully and it can't hurt, just have extra. Oh no, you have extra food. Oh no, it's a rainy day and you don't. Oh no, you're okay now. Oh no, I'm terrible. So anyway, that's all I have. Until next time.